Today, we're going to talk about Baywatch and being on the bay, being on the sea, being on the beach. Are you on the bay or the sea or the beach?
I wish would. Are you?
You're whispering? What did you say?
Uh, can you hear me okay?
Yes,
I said I wish I would. And then I
I
asked
wish.
you, are you?
Oh, no, I'm locked into my apartment here, just trying to stay away from the world. The world is so much out there; it's everywhere. Um, But this time of the year, it's springtime, and a lot of people are going to the beach, they're going to the lake, they're on sailboats, they're playing tennis, they're going off to their little summer cottages, they're doing barbecues, they're jumping in waterfalls. It's a very active time of the year. Would you agree?
I would, but only because I don't like confrontation.
Okay, now that we have that out of the way, um, do you remember that television series Baywatch?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Could you tell our listeners how we've come up with such an idea to call this episode Baywatch?
Well, on our cover shot, you will see some people at the beach, and I believe that they are at Port Aransas, which is on the Gulf Coast of Mexico. They are some Dallas friends who have gotten away for a little beach fun. And on the left, you will see Austin. I call him Austin Magnum. Uh, that's not his last name, but I call him Austin Magnum. And on the right, you'll see Kay Whitty. His name is Kyle. And in the middle is a lovely lady that is, I can't remember, is it a wife? Is it a friend? Is it an in law? But I like her bathing suit. So these are just some East Dallas people that are at Port Aransas. And, they're just having fun, drinking beer, sitting around getting a tan, running on the beach, playing volleyball on the beach. And when I was young and growing up, my mother used to take us to Corpus Christi or Port Aransas. So it's a popular beach place for people that live in Houston or they live in San Antonio. What beaches have you been to?
I remember I've been on the Black Sea Beach when I was 7 years old, I guess. I'm not a beach guy, really. I'm a sort of a forest type.
Like
Is
you're
that
kind
better
of
for
like
you?
Forrest. You're kind of like Forrest Gump. No, I'm joking.
Okay,
No,
continue, continue. Because first of all, initially you wanted to call the episode "The Sea," right?
well, we were thinking that we enjoyed uh, some quotes and talking about different famous quotes that contain a little bit of wisdom. And so I was thinking, oh well, maybe we could find some quotes about the sea and we could use this as a cover shot or thumbnail. And because these are people that are off at the beach. But yeah, so we were thinking of thinking about quotes about the sea and songs about the sea. There is a song that some people may know. It was written in 1968, which was, during the Vietnam War. And it is a song by Otis Redding, Otis Redding, Otis Redding. It's called The Dock of the Bay. And it's about a guy sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time, watching the waves roll in and out. It's got a really nice beat, and it was popular, back in the day. And if you think back to the time of the Vietnam War, um, it was a war that just wouldn't end. It seems like the United States is involved in a lot of wars that just won't end. Which reminds me of another song, "War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing." But anyhow, Otis Redding's song, "The Dock of the Bay," kind of talks about the weariness of war. And even though war is going on, a lot of people were called away by the draft for the Vietnam War. Still, life goes on, and you just try to find some beauty in the little everyday moments of life.
You know, I don't know if I should tell you about this, but I always thought the Duck of the Bay meant Duck of the Bay, like the bird. And no, 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 because the Dog of the Bay is like a serious thing, and what I was thinking was completely different. But now I understood
Well, I
that
liked
was
it.
not the case. And also, you said the Duck of the Bay back in the day, and I thought we could make up our own song. And
Yeah,
also, when can I continue? Just a few words
yes,
more. Yeah. Okay. When
weird.
you showed me the picture, I thought, wow, such a nice young people, and we cannot call this episode the sea because that wouldn't be fair to them. When I look at that picture, it reminds me of of me when I was young. And anyway, you were saying,
No, no, it is also it also reminds me of being young and like different beaches and sea coasts that I was on. I've been on, on I've been on a lot of different sea coasts, and I just keep thinking like where did time go? Like time is one of our sort of themes and threads through patroma therapy. Marcel Proust has "À la recherche de temps perdu," in search of lost time. We have Sisyphus rolling the rock up and down the hill just again and again and again, just like trapped in this, you know, I mean, just the whole idea of that the time is passing, we can't stop it, we can't capture it. And so I feel you when you say you look at these young people. When I look at them and I think, life is a lot longer than you think it's going to be. So pace yourself, choose your battles and don't burn it all out. You know, that's just one of my themes is choose your battles. Like, what do you want to spend a lot of energy battling, and what's going to be your cost benefit? What are you going to get out of it? Like there's a lot of stuff just not worth stressing over about. A lot of things will resolve in time. And what I like about this picture is, I mean, they're just like so happy. The sunshine makes them feel good. They've maybe got a couple coolers full of beer. They've escaped Dallas, where they work. Kay Whitty is a pharmaceutical sales rep, and he travels, and they work hard. And on the weekend, they just want to have fun and enjoy life. I mean, isn't that what we all want to do?
yeah, that's why we like the Baywatch series. By the way, the one you sent me, the video, the TV commercial, that was, I believe, 2017. I don't even know. I didn't know it existed until today. When I say Baywatch, I mean 2000, I guess. I don't know, 1999 series. I guess it was a long time ago. And
You mean the one
yeah,
with Pamela Anderson?
I don't know any names, but yeah,
Blonde.
the name rings a bell. Uh, do you remember? You probably don't, but
Well,
I
why don't you
do.
just
But
summarize for our viewers, our listeners, because not everybody has watched that. What do you remember from that series? What are some moments you remember from that series?
not much at all. Uh, Actually, I remember only one thing, that the slow motion of and and the memory is mostly a muscle memory because I was young and at the time, and that's it. I don't know. Maybe it was a commercial, or the series. Maybe it was the series itself. And those
But
beautiful people
the
all over the
slow,
beach.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
What
I'm
is
sorry.
the slow motion is a girl running on the beach, and it's kind of especially if you're a teenage boy or a young guy, you're kind of thinking like, wow,
No, no,
is
my
that
memory. I can neither confirm nor deny.
that you have a memory, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, help me out.
Well,
Help me out here.
Okay, so we there are these iconic moments that get sort of burned into our memory, and we may not know the name of the movie or the name of the song, or but it's just like part of who we are. Like that song, um, "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay." I can remember that I was, I think I was in, I think I was in Turkey. Had gone away to school. Maybe I was pretty young, and I just remember listening to that song and just thinking like that would be like the greatest song to like sit with a guy with under the dock, DOCK, and just like lay in the sands with a guy, and like maybe someday I'll have a boyfriend. That's my that's my muscle memory of that song. But you know, it's just like, you know, the film Rocky, you know, when still Sylvester Stallone is like running up the steps there in Philadelphia. Dun, 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 dun. Like I just listen to that. It's like, yeah, yeah. If like I'm in the mood to do something, like, yeah, I gotta go like get my car worked on, and I hate doing that, so I'll put that song on, and it's like this kind of like pump you up music.
Yeah, same with me because I remember looking at the TV set, the Baywatch series, and then the next thing I remember, just everything stopped. It was dead silent, and I couldn't move my head or look away because of slow motion. Um, I couldn't even hear my own heartbeat. Anyway, which I take it you saw everything. You have seen all the seasons. So do you think, can you advise what the best season to start Baywatch? One, two, or
I
three? I
never
don't know how many.
never watched any of it. I never watched. I don't watch television. I'm saying I never watched Baywatch. I didn't much watch Friends, but I'm just no. I'm just saying that I don't really watch watch television. I like movies, and I like music. But I do remember people running on the beach. I also know that the band the Beach Boys were popular at the time, and Little Deuce Coupe and all these songs about being the beach and blonde hair and having
Yeah,
fun. And
it's light, and how stupid, a little bit cheesy, but that's why we like it, right? Because it's an entertainment.
yes, and also when I used to live in Houston, Texas, I would go down to Galveston, and that's another song, Galveston. Uh, I love that song. Yeah, I love that song, Galveston. Anyhow, uh, you go to Galveston, and there's a long, long beach, and people are on bicycles on the like there's an area that has little tiny houses, little shops selling kites and selling ice cream, and you can rent bicycles. You can rent these little carts, like four people are bicycling on this little cart, and like people are selling ice cream, and they're selling sodas, and they're selling all kinds of stuff. And you just leave the big city of Houston, and you just think like, my life sucks. I'm exhausted working. Like my bank account, I wonder if it's balanced. You just leave all your worries behind, and as soon as you can smell the sea, all of a sudden just the smell of the sea makes all the city life go away. And you come into Galveston, and there's like shrimp boats, and the shrimp stands, and then you like find some place to park, and you go down the seawall, and you find some place to set up your gear, and maybe you brought an umbrella, or you rent an umbrella, and you just like plant your umbrella there, and your kids or your friends or whoever you go with are just running on the sea, and you just feel like, like, why don't I just live at the sea? Like, why don't I just like not go back to Houston? I mean, do you ever like not want to go back to a job in a big building?
I have to process that. I cannot
Confirm or
understand your
deny it.
question. Hey, what's that? What's up with the I can neither confirm nor deny thing? Is it very popular in the United States? It's some kind of equivalent of no comments, right? And the last thing I have seen anybody said no comments was Winston Churchill. That was some historical, I guess, series, and he was asked. I don't remember even what was the subject, and he said no comment. And then a few years ago, I accidentally came across this. I can neither confirm nor deny, and liked it immediately. Do you ever use
No,
it in
it's
your
good.
day-to-day speech?
Yeah, I, I, I have used it before, but
Like
sometimes
if
people
someone
say,
asks you, some of your neighbors come up to you and say, "Is this your car blocking the entrance?" And can you answer like, "I can neither confirm nor deny"?
no, it's just what I say. I don't live here. I'm just visiting.
I see.
See, that way I actually do live there, but I don't want to deal with these people because it's none of their damn business. Why did my car break down in front of the security gate? No, I'm just saying that when you want to evade or avoid interaction with people, sometimes I'll just say whatever, or sometimes I'll say, yeah, sure. Like, but I can neither confirm nor deny. It's a little more witty. It's a little bit more highbrow. And, sometimes talking isn't good because, in the world of lawyers, everything can and will be used against you. So you need to choose your words carefully and wisely. And if you talk a lot like me, it's dangerous. It's dangerous being me.
Hey, English
You know what I
language
mean?
is very interesting, and absolutely, English language is dangerous by itself, by definition. It's like, can I help you? I've, you can expect anything from the person who says that, from the sincere desire to help to the bullied, right in the heart.
The
Bullet,
Buddhist, what's the word you're
bullet,
using? Bullet.
bullet.
Oh,
Yeah,
bullet.
say that again.
Oh,
I have to remember how to pronounce it.
yeah, just the last
Bullet,
consonant. If you would pronounce the last consonant, bullet ends with a T.
bullet. Uh-huh.
Bullet.
Thank you.
Bullet.
So yeah, if
Thank
someone asks you, "Can I help you?" that could mean anything from sincere desire to help to the bullet, right?
I don't know. How is a
In
bullet
your
going to help
forehead.
me? No, I don't want a
Well,
bullet in my.
that was a rhetorical question, but
Well,
yeah,
I know that when I was a kid, I was with my father. I don't know, maybe 10, 11, or 12 years old, and we went to a shopping center and we were going to buy something like something from my mother for Mother's Day, or we were shopping around for different ideas for my mother for a Christmas gift. So I'm the oldest of six siblings. So my father, six kids in a car is like a lot to deal with. So he would just take me and we'd go like wander around. And my father was such an amazing person, like so. Well, he reminds me a lot of Sean Connery in all the 007 movies. I've traveled the world, very good looking, smoked, very witty, a bit of a womanizer. But I'm with my father, and we're getting ready to walk into the shopping center. He goes, "Just watch this." I go, "What am I going to watch?" He goes, "Just watch." So we go in, and we go to an area where there's like house goods are on the second floor and clothing is on the third floor. And I wanted to buy these rabbit lined gloves from my father for Christmas. So I was interested in like clothing. And then my dad was interested in something else. So we go to the clothing floor, and my dad's standing there being good looking and interesting. And I'm just sort of standing there being kind of a goofy daughter. And this very pretty sales girl comes up to us because at that time only pretty sales girls were hired. I think now anybody who shows up to work they'll hire you. But the girl goes, "May I help you?" And my father goes, I doubt it. Just kept walking. It was like, she was like, he just kind of looked at her up and down. He goes, I doubt it. And then he just started walking. It was like this weird moment of like, what is this man doing? Like, why is my father so strange? He was just disarming her, possibly disrobing her with his eyes. But she just came up and wanted to know, can I help you? Can I show you scarves, or do you want to go look at shoes, or can I point you in the direction of, purses? But the only thing she said is, can I help you? And he goes, I doubt it.
It's very hard to talk to people. I mean, at least to me. Maybe because I have social anxiety. When someone asks me, can I help you? I don't know what to say, especially if it's pretty women who cannot help me with the things I want her to help me with. But I can tell her, right? I can tell her that. Or maybe I should, next time, I should do the same and tell the same. I doubt it. That would answer the question.
I doubt it,
right?
but we could go get a coffee.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm having a hard time keeping conversation going.
I think we're doing really, really great. You told me once a story about during the pandemic, sometimes people are wearing masks, sometimes they're not, sometimes they have two masks on. We were getting information. Don't touch your face, don't touch your doorknob, don't touch anybody around you, don't touch your pillow. Like, beginning of the pandemic, we were all crazy. And I remember I went into this one grocery store. It was called Sprouts, like little sprouted vegetables, but it's called Sprouts. There were people that were wearing, it looked like they were wearing hazmat suits. There were other people that had like a snorkel gear on. They had a mask with a snorkel, and they were breathing, through the tube that goes up above the water. There were people wearing colorful masks. It was like a damn carnival. But you were telling me one story. You during the pandemic, you went and you just, saw these different containers of pistachios, and you were going to buy some pistachios. So you walked up to the pistachio lady, and what happened there?
She was probably pissed off with all the situation and the lack of customers. So I asked her for some roasted pistachio, right? Is that how you pronounce it? And she said, you want it shelled or unshelled? I said, I want this roasted unshelled. And then she started crying, yelling at me that what I pointed out with my finger is not what I said with words. And I was so confused that I didn't know what to do, actually. And the whole situation with the pandemic, interesting, I never told you about that. It kind of made a robot out of me. Like I felt like I was programmed to ask and answer like very simple questions, like don't touch your face, wear a mask, like turn right, turn left. What pistachio do you want? Totally confused me because it was like 5-word sentence, and I wasn't accustomed by the time.
No, the thing is, like, intelligent, educated people who are accountants and professors and business owners and people who were managers, all those people who were high functioning individuals just suddenly couldn't get anything done. I remember being in that same grocery store, and I knew like the 7 things I wanted, and I knew where they were in the store before. It was like kind of like I'm sitting in my car getting ready to go in there. I'm thinking, okay, there's 7 things I want. First, I'm going to go here, then I'm going to go there, then I'm going to go there, then I'm going to go there, then I'm going to check out, I'm going to be out of here. Because remember, we're not supposed to be around people. And I would only go to the store when I was really low on food and it was going to be worth risking my life. So whenever I would decide, should I go to the grocery store, I kept looking at my food thinking like, okay, I might die, but I got to go get some food. So these were the thoughts that went through my head. So like, I'm sitting in my car and thinking, okay, take a right, get the bread. Okay, go down there, get the meat and chicken. Okay, go over here, get the vegetables over here, and pick up some beer over here, get some pistachios. They had all these pistachios and cashews and almonds, and you couldn't shovel them from the bin anymore. Everything was like bagged up. So you just like pick up a bag. Like I look at the bag, like, why in the hell am I paying $12 for pistachios? But then I think, can't think about that. I got to get out of here. So anyhow, I go in like I'm armed for combat. I've got my credit card in my right pocket. I got my mask on. Like I'm pressing the nose to be sure it's down tight. You know, I'm wearing sunglasses on top of the mask, and I have a hoodie, a hoodie on. I look, and then I saw this other guy, some other guy. He had like a mask. It was like a ski mask, like a bank robber. He had a ski mask on, like a black ski mask on, and like combat. Uh, what do you call them? The pants, the jogging pants, and like a black hoodie. It's like he's in there. It's like we're gonna rob the store. The only thing we're doing is gro- grocery shopping. So I go in and I take a ride. I see the people, some guy in the scuba diving mask. I'm thinking, holy shit, this pandemic is making everyone crazy. Then I look to the right, and it's like the coast is clear. I'm going to go pick up some pita bread and some like raisin bread. And I'm just standing there because we've been advised, don't touch things. So when like the grocery store would put out protocol on how to go grocery shopping, like think of what you want, pick it up, put it in your basket, and keep moving. So I'm standing there. I'm just thinking, okay, like I don't know if I want like whole wheat pita bread, like do I want raisins with nuts? I'm just standing there having like, 4 seconds of thought. And there's this mother and son there. I think they might have been maybe Indian or, very, very, very nice people. The mom was maybe 50 and the son was maybe, 20, something like that. And they're just trying to choose bread. And the young man picks up a package and he's showing it to his mother. Then he puts the package back down and then he picks up another one. He's showing it to his mother. And I'm thinking, oh no, all of this bread has been touched. So I move away from the pita bread and then I look at some muffins that are in this case. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just choose my own muffin. And then the mother comes up to me. She goes, is something wrong? Did we do something wrong? You quickly moved away from us. I said, no, you were just touching the bags. And then I realized I'm just being crazy. I said, I don't know, I just live by myself and like my daughter's a doctor and like I don't know what to do. She goes, well, we washed our hands and like we're not going to give you any diseases. I go, no, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry to be sorry. It's just like the whole pandemic thing. I said, I gotta go. And then I just like raced away from her to go get the chicken and the other thing. But it was this bizarre moment. I mean, it wasn't social anxiety, but anxiety was definitely part of it. Gosh, I feel anxious just talking about this.
Yeah, you said crazy a few times. Each episode you say the word crazy and both negative and positive connotations. And I think would be either some kind of a hints, to get to know if a person is crazy or not. Like you talking to me, how can you know I'm crazy or I'm not?
I know I like crazy people. That's why we're co-therapists. I prefer the crazy to the sheep. The sheep just wander around and do what everybody's supposed to be doing. But like zany people, I like the word zany, like creative, zany, interesting types. They've always got an angle on something. So, crazy in the, psychiatric manuals, with Freud and Jung and all the development of psychology, there's been different terms that have been casually called crazy. And, women used to be called hysterical, and they were called hysterical because at that time, 1899, in London, people believed that the womb, WOMB, or the uterus, wandered around down there and made women anxious and high strung. And then later, as we learned more about psychiatry and psychology, we realized that being hysterical, guys can be hysterical, and bis can be hysterical, and transgendered people can be hysterical. It just means just being like very, very emotional. Like, to be emotional is to be a human being. But yeah, the word crazy, with the pandemic and going into the grocery store, when I say it's crazy, it's what I mean is that was like so unusual just to try to go grocery shopping and have it turn into an anxiety attack. And we were getting information about what to do, touch this, don't touch this, come home. You were supposed to take all the bags, all your food out of the bags, put the bags on the outside of the house, wash everything with a bleach thing.
Yeah.
And then, the whole thing was just absurd. It was crazy. It was absurd. It was like ridiculous. But we also had people dying in Dallas. I knew people that died. So I just tried to take it as seriously as possible. I don't know. When did you begin to understand the whole thing was like crazy?
I've met quite a few women in my life whom I consider crazy, but there's one thing I can tell you about that crazy doesn't usually show itself at the beginning. It somehow opens up later, but when you understand that somebody is crazy, it's as usual, it's too late, right?
But by crazy, do you mean you understand that they were bipolar, or that they were manic depressive, or
I
that
have
they
no idea. I
schizophrenic?
don't know the gradation or the
Well,
scientific terms.
but I mean, you said
I
that you've known some women, and then at first they didn't seem crazy, but then later you understood they were. But you mean like they were
Yeah, but
manipulative?
then I thought, what if it's not them? What if it's me? Because there's a study out that if everybody is around you is crazy, maybe it's vice versa or something like that. Maybe it is you.
No, but like, what do you say? There's a study. You mean in 1969, or like last week? Like, if when you make a comment, if you ground it in time, I think it's easier. Well, the
I
thing
don't feel
about
comfortable with your questions. Or
okay,
I don't know.
when
I
you
feel uncomfortable with your question. I don't know how to say that. I feel
no,
uncomfortable or
the
I don't
thing.
feel comfortable.
No, there are people when you first meet them, they're just kind of interesting. And then they turn into a dang emotional vampire, and they just like
No,
text
no,
you.
no. She's just if you meet a woman and everything is interesting, but then later she that becomes crazy bitch that may burn down your house. She's
Are you talking
crazy.
about me?
No, 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 no.
No,
Because
no.
you and me, we have just a few screws loose, but crazy,
Screws.
crazy.
We have what?
Screws?
Screws? Screws loose.
Screws. Screws.
Last syllable. Screws loose.
Screws loose. Right. Watch. I don't watch. Whatever it was you said.
Baywatch.
The pun.
No,
No
no,
pun
no, no.
intended.
Well, the thing is, if you don't have a few screws loose, your head will explode. Because if everything's screwed down, like, you have to have room to blow off steam. That's an expression, blowing off steam. Or like when you're cooking something like a pot of beans, if you keep the lid on, it can boil over. So the expression, like, your head is your lid, like blowing off steam. Or like sometimes I can be getting together with someone and someone's like really mad. They're not mad at me, they're just mad. They just need someone to vent on, or to discharge on. I remember, a friend of mine was mad because his son wouldn't come in, and because his father was getting older. And this friend of mine, I could just see the vein on the front of his head, like enlarging, and like he has high blood pressure already. And I said, David, why don't you not have a heart attack obsessing about why don't you just like try to relax and just order another vodka? He goes, oh, okay, I think I will. But sometimes people need to have a friend around just to discharge on, or release a little steam, or kick back with. But
Hey,
that doesn't
what's
mean
this?
that these friends are crazy.
You there?
I'm having a moment of quiet.
It's like I've seen this TV show. I don't remember what was the name. And then the um, how interviewer. How do you call the guy who makes the interview? One is
Interviewer.
interviewer and interview, and the interviewer says, and now we have a commercial, and the interview like totally stunned because they just started, and the interviewer says that means we stop talking.
Yeah,
What was like
exactly.
we've just had moment, just you and me
Exactly.
just had. But
Exactly.
how does that
Exactly.
make you feel? The silence, does that make you uncomfortable,
Well,
or is it just me?
there's a Simon and Garfunkel song called The Sounds of Silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. You know, it's a beautiful song. I think when you're around people that you're comfortable with, silence is okay. But if you're just with some new friends and there's any silence, everybody's like jumping in to like fill it with like nonsense.
I wish I have tomato juice and vodka in front of me. Maybe next time we call each other, we should be a little bit drunk. I would
Oh, oh
probably
well,
have some
I,
margarita. What's that? Bloody Mary.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would.
No. Well, margarita is tequila and a little bit of agave, and I like it on the rocks with lime on the rim and salt. So that's like a classic margarita. But like Bloody Mary can be made different ways. Ice, vodka, tomato juice. But some people load it with Tabasco sauce and like a celery stick. And then there's places in Dallas where they have like Bloody Mary bars where you go in there and the the Bloody Mary has on top of it a stick that has like bacon and cheese and tomatoes and like it's called Build Your Own Bloody Mary. So you're in there like eating all this great stuff. It's called Henderson Tap House. It's like frequented by college boys and girls and guys that wish they were college boys because all the college girls are there. But yeah, how do you like to drink Bloody Mary?
Each time I drink, I think, what is the name? I mean, how did they come up with such name? And each time I make promise to look it up later, and each time I forget. I guess that was a name of the queen in England like 500 years
Yes.
ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she killed
Yeah.
lots of people, and they called her Bloody Mary. But I don't understand why would they name a drink mix of vodka and tomato juice after her.
Well, because blood is red
Yeah, well, there are a lot
and
of
tomato
red
is
things.
red. Huh?
There are many red things, but the exact
Well, they're not
drink
gonna
I
like.
like happened to be Bloody Mary, named after that awful woman.
No, I mean I like if I'm going to drink. There's like savory and then there's sweet. If I'm going to drink sweet, I'll have. Well, I mean like I like Irish coffee with bourbon or whiskey in it. So like if I want for breakfast, if I'm going to like a brunch or something and I want to drink, I'll drink like Irish coffee because it has bourbon in it. But if I want to drink savory something, like suppose I'm going to have migas, which is like eggs and peppers and tortilla chips, I'll get like a Bloody Mary or I'll get a margarita because it's salty. So it depends on like what direction I'm going in. Like I can't just go out with no plan because if there's no plan, something else will happen. Have you ever noticed that? You don't have a plan, then just other stuff happens.
No, I like cows. Chaos? How do you pronounce that? I don't like
I just
plants.
said cows.
Chaos.
Chaos. S.
Chaos.
K. Like it's like two syllables. Chaos. 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 Chaos.
I don't feel comfortable having plans because they always go sideways, and you feel like, why did I spend that much time planning this or that when everything is going wrong? So I enjoy being in chaotic environment, if you
Well,
please.
I like the idea of an episode about having some drinks. I'm also liking the idea of an episode about a chainsaw. Evidently, you have recently purchased a chainsaw.
You
And I
purchased
know that
chainsaw.
you said you recently purchased a chainsaw, and then there's a famous movie called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I think a future episode should have something to do with Bloody Mary and your chainsaw. What do you think about that?
I can neither confirm nor deny of what I think.